Welcome to the Health Freedom Show. In this episode, I cover the truth about CBD and neuropathy. Can CBD help with neuropathy? If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Morentin. I'm the host of the Health Freedom Show, and I'm an expert in pain management. If you or someone you know suffers from neuropathy pain, then I highly recommend you watch this video. I'm going to go over what a neuropathy is, what are the causes, the symptoms, any medical cures, and how CBD can help. And lastly, I'll go over a real life case study. So let's get into the presentation. Okay, so for many, neuropathy is painful and it's also a disabling condition, meaning that it takes you out of life. It puts you on the sidelines. So what is neuropathy? Neuropathy is basically it's nerve damage, okay? So oftentimes it's to the peripheral nerves. It's even called peripheral neuropathy most of the time, and mainly in the hands and feet because of those are the most distal or distant parts of your limbs or away from your spine, okay? So they say that it's caused by damage to your myelin sheath. Now, your myelin sheath is like if you picture an electrical wire, like the ones that are running through your walls in your house, and there's a protective coating that surrounds the wire, or else the wire would the energy would just go all over the place, all throughout the wire, right? The coating is what directs the energy to the end of that wire, to the opposite, to wherever it's supposed to go, okay? So that's what the myelin sheath basically does for your nerves. It's that protective coating. And when it is damaged, then it's like when you have damaged electrical wires and they fray and malfunction, okay? So the causes of neuropathy mainly are from nutrient deficiencies, okay? It can be from CBD, and there's also other things like vitamin B1, vitamin B12 that could definitely cause neuropathies if you are lacking in them, okay? Alcohol abuse can also cause neuropathies. Diabetes is a huge factor that's actually called diabetic neuropathies. There's also doctors that say that there's over 100 possible causes of neuropathy, and then there's also neuropathies that are causes of unknown origin, okay? So meaning they don't know why it's caused, they just know that you have it, okay? But it all, at the end of the day, basically leads back to nutrient deficiencies. Diabetes is a nutrient deficiency, alcohol abuse causes nutrient deficiency, etc. There's also things like injury, but for the most part, if you haven't had an injury that causes neuropathy, then it's most likely from a nutrient deficiency. Okay, so symptoms of neuropathy are pain, varying kinds of pain, but this can be very severe, just like sharp pain that you would be familiar with. Then also things like pins and needles, or numbness and tingling, or burning sensation. Remember, this is going to most oftentimes be in your feet, the ball of your foot, or in your hands. Okay. And then loss of balance, that burning and then loss of balance. The loss of balance is because if it's in your feet, then you can't feel the ground underneath you, and you sort of have to steady yourself. And it's really not a really great place to be, right? It really sucks, okay? As far as medical cures, there is none for neuropathy, okay? To get a neuropathy better, there is no medical cure. There are medications that they prescribe to sort of mask the symptoms, the pins and needles, the numbness, tingling, the pain. And there's varying degrees of success, but not much with that. But like we said, there is nothing that actually makes the neuropathy better. It just gets worse over time if treated medically. Okay, so a little bit about the nervous system. It's sort of important to understand what's going on with the neuropathy and how the nutrient deficiencies will cause the neuropathy, okay? So you have your brain that feeds down to your central nervous system and then your peripheral nervous system. So your central nervous system is basically housed in your spine, okay? And then it feeds out into your body and into your limbs, all the way out to your hands and feet. And so your spine is your central nervous system, and then when it feeds out to your body and your limbs, that's your peripheral nervous system. Now there is a flow that goes back and forth from central to peripheral nervous system. It's called a downregulation and an upregulation, okay? So there's, picture a highway going either way, and there's the downregulation going one way, upregulation going the other way. If everything's flowing right, there's no traffic jams, going on, then you're fine, you're healthy, and you're participating in life and just loving it, right? If there is some kind of a traffic jam or a hiccup along the way, the wire gets frayed along the way, and that's what a neuropathy is. It's like a frayed connection or a misfire in that highway, okay, in that super highway. And it usually happens at the most distant part in your hands or in your feet. So CBD, well, first off, we get this question a lot. CBD actually has no side effects, okay? So, taking it to, see if it'll help anything that you have going on with you isn't gonna affect you adversely, because there are no side effects that I've seen over the many years of people taking our CBD, okay? Basically what the CBD does is it hardwires the connections in your body, okay? So, so it takes away the frayed connection and it sort of hardwires it. And it does that through what's called homeostasis. And homeostasis is basically creating balance in your body. And that's basically what CBD and other cannabinoids do in your body, because you have an endocannabinoid system that is fed with cannabinoids such as CBD, and the whole job of your endocannabinoid system is to create balance with the other systems in your body, and that balance is called homeostasis. So that upregulation and downregulation, it's balanced out in largely with CBD or other cannabinoids, okay? So very, very important, and that's why I call CBD a missing link. It's actually, a nutrient deficiency that you have, and what I actually call it a cannabinoid deficiency that causes, things like neuropathy and so many other things that can happen in your body. Different people manifest different ways, and that's why it could seemingly help so many things, because you actually have a cannabinoid deficiency. The neuropathy is just a symptom, and once you feed that deficiency, the symptom, the neuropathy, magically goes away, okay? So let me show you I want to show you a case study. And there are several people that we could talk about, but I want to talk about John. John, because he was our first neuropathy client, okay? And he was a referral from this gentleman named Grampy Pat. He's referred more people to us than anybody, but I received a phone call one day from John in the city of Orange, and he said, "Hey, my neighbor across the street, he just raves about your CBD, and his whole family's on it, and I wanted to see if it would help my cat." And I was like, "Yeah, it'll help your cat. We have a special pet CBD that I developed," and I actually went over his house because he didn't live that far away from me, and I showed him how to use it, and just left and didn't think anything of it, right? And a couple months go by, and I receive a phone call from John. And he said, "Hey, this is John from Orange, and I bought that CBD for my cat a couple months ago, but my cat doesn't really want to take it, and I was wondering, I have some stuff going on, and I was wondering if I could take it." And he explained to me that he had like neuropathy he's had for over 2 decades, and it's, severely limiting his, his ability to walk and etc. Is living miserably because of it, right? And he's tried everything and nothing has helped. Do you think the CBD will help? And I was like, yeah, it's possible that the CBD, can have a positive effect on you, but the pet CBD is really low in strength. It's only 5 milligrams per dropperful. But you could try it out. It's not going to affect you adversely. There are no side effects, only side benefits. And so he did. And I went to bed thinking nothing of it. And the next morning, I received a phone call from John. Hey, this is John from Orange, and can you come over here, bring the human stuff? This is a little bit stronger. Your stuff works. And I was like, how do you mean? So I'll just come over here and I'll explain it to you. So I get to his house, and he was like, hey, I took the stuff last night, and about 20 minutes later, I felt great. And he's like, look, check this out. And he gets up and out of his chair and goes like, hey. And I was like, hey, wait a minute, because he was one of those guys that had trouble with the balance and feeling the ground underneath him, and his first dose was just the night before, less than 24 hours earlier, right? And he, like the first time I met him 2 months earlier, he got up out of the chair and he was like getting up slowly and holding on to the table and like, hi, my name's John, it's nice to meet you, and like sort of like shaking a little bit. And he just got up like this, and I'm like, hey, be careful, like I know you're feeling good, but you want to be careful, because you've only taken one dose, and just be safe. And his wife goes, yeah, last night he was at the base of the staircase and he was dancing around barefoot. And that's the first time he's done that in over 20 years. And he was happy like I haven't seen him in over 20 years. And that's just like some of the results that you can get, by just, feeding a deficiency that's in your body. We know that with vitamin C deficiency, you get scurvy, you could die. So it makes sense that if you have a cannabinoid deficiency, that it can fix things that malfunction without it, right? It just makes sense. So his dosage was super small. We actually got him to raise it up a little bit, and he was able to maintain the success and everything like that. Typical dosages are with capsules or tincture, 25 or 50 milligrams 2 times per day, sometimes 3 times, but for the most part 2 times per day, right? And for flare-ups, you could microdose with a tincture or topical. But just so you know, the capsules and tinctures, they are the mainstay, okay? They are what I call a primary source of CBD supplementation, because it attacks the root cause, the root cause being the cannabinoid deficiency, okay? It'll also help with the symptoms, like the pain, the numbness, the tingling, the burning, all that kind of stuff, but it also helps the root cause. The topical is what I call a secondary, because it mainly just addresses the symptoms, If you want to actually overcome and manage a condition, then the capsules or tincture or both is what is recommended. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out, and that concludes this episode of The Truth About CBD and Neuropathy. Can CBD help your neuropathy? Remember to check out our online CBD store at myfitlife.net and contact us if you have questions or need assistance choosing the right CBD for your situation. And remember, knowledge is power and health is wealth. This is Morentin with MyFitLife. Thank you and have a beautiful day. Peace.